fucking smashed the phone up, and I wanted to speak to them about them
guy
as well.
could squash
And
it.
I'm not going to show. I'm just going to show the a bit of the video, and
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to attach
Yeah,
it to
wrestling,
this.
isn't it? Pro
I'm
American
going to show
football.
you this
Isn't it?
just because, just to remind
We don't
you
do any of
like
those
the
things.
shit I did and what I
So they're a
went
lot
through
more
in jail
athletic than what we are when we're younger.
in which he knows
In that
about,
sense.
and I'll attach the letter like I say, sorry I got you banged up. That I was on close visits with my kids, and moved up every single wing. Couldn't get a job in the jail after everything I'd done, giving him access to mobiles and giving him weed and giving him stuff I give him. And I've come out and wanted a bit of help. I don't want anything off him. I don't want money off him. I don't want presents off him. I don't want fuck all off him. I just wanted an help with something, and some advice and a sit down and go for a proper meal. And how I got treated in London was fucking disgusting, ridiculous. I'm not going to tell you what happened and all that, but just listen, watch these videos and listen to these videos and this recording what someone made and what I took off them, so it would the pictures, so they won't get put out for real.
There is. You got Peach.
Yes, Chris, how you doing, mate? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I've got the thing I borrowed yesterday, the phone. There's a message on it for you. When do you want it back to use? Yeah, I'll throw it back under in a minute. Is everything else good? We got everything you need. I'll do the shorts and t-shirt for you. Good. What about, do you need any more weed or any more burn weed? Yeah. How's your mate? Yeah, it's a bit small in that fucking South weed, isn't it? Yeah. Do you need it? What about the USB stick, mate? Is there enough films in that on it? Did you get it working? Say again? Yeah. So just checking in, mate, making sure everything's good. You've got everything you need and all that. And like I said in it, like yesterday, anything you need, just get on the. When you get unlocked at R2, I get unlocked as well for the service.
So before I show any more videos here of this guy's whole issue is that when Chris Brown was in jail, he looked after him. He showed him unequivocal, undeniable loyalty in the 3 days he was in jail, or 2 days, whatever the hell he was in jail for. He showed him so much loyalty. That's a nice gesture. I'm not gonna lie. When someone makes you feel at home like that, looks after you like that, it's a thoughtful gesture. But my brother, what's your motive here? What are you trying to do here? Like, why are you even helping Chris Brown? Is it just because you're a loyal guy? Is it just because you're a friendly guy? Or is it because it's literally Chris Brown? Now, you claim you are not a fan of Chris Brown in terms of like his music. That's fair, I believe you. Fair enough, you're not a fan of Chris Brown, but you know who he is. You know who he is and you know how famous he is. You know there's opportunities that you could get by looking after him. But who asked you to be loyal, bro? Who asked you to be loyal? You can hear in that recording of the jail guy interacting with Chris Brown. Chris Brown's not even doing too much. It's just like, yeah, cool, man. Like, you can, I'll have the phone whenever you're ready, innit? Like, yeah, the weed is good. The film's good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. We're good. Chris Brown, this is not Chris Brown's first time in jail. Chris Brown's been jailed multiple times and been to American prison. So I think
Breezy's a lot worse.
I think Breezy's calm. So he's just saying, yeah, I'm good. But the guy recording is begging, like, yeah, you good, bro. Yeah,
You got this, you got that, you got that. Hilarious.
So there's so many things I want to say here. So the guy recording, you're already bad mind anyway. You're already bad mind. You're already doing out with this and that because you want to doing it out of kindness of your own heart. If I walked on the wing, nobody knows me, do they? If I walked on the wing, top of the juice, what are you going to do then? Are you going to give me loud? Yeah? You're going to give me some weed? You're going to give me some phones and this and that? You're going to look after me? No, because I ain't Breezy. Yeah? I'm not Breezy. So the guy that was recording in the first place, you're bad man. You're not pure, you're not genuine. Now the main character, let's go back to the main guy. Our main guy, yeah? He claims that, oh yeah, the guy was recording Chris Brown. He was recording and taking pictures of him. And what I did is I took that phone off him, I done him in to protect Chris Brown, to my loyal guy, just out of pure loyalty. My loyalty meant that I had to defend Chris Brown's honor. And instead of just deleting all the footage that the guy got, he sent it to himself first. So he sent the very same footage to himself outside before deleting the footage and saying to Chris Brown, yeah, I got your back. So why did you send it to yourself first? Did you send it to yourself because you wanted to use it as leverage? potentially wanted to use it as a blackmail opportunity. Damn, at the end of the day, yeah, you're in jail. You should know this better than anyone. People are disloyal. People are snakes. How do you not know this already? And do you not have any like, social, social cues? Like if I somehow sit next to a celebrity on a plane here, and I've made friends with a celebrity on a 7-hour plane journey, I'm not going to delude myself into thinking, yeah, we're actually brethren now. Now, when we get off this plane journey, we exchange Instagrams, we connect, this and that.
Some people are.
Deluded. I know what it is. The same way, if I was in jail with Chris Brown and a man's patterning him, whatever, yeah, I know what this is. I'm not going to be looking to Chris Brown to sort my career out afterwards. And he keeps banging on about how, oh yeah, I showed him so much loyalty. I had closed visits for 4 or 5 months with my kids afterwards. Yeah, so much loyalty I showed him. And when I got out of jail, I went down to see him in London, and they treated me like a fan. Brother, because that's what you are. You're a beg, bro, and he knows it. He knows that you may not like his music, but you are begging him, bro. You're begging him. And Breezy actually gave him free concert tickets and his girlfriend free concert tickets to the show, the Usher and Chris Brown show. He gave him tickets to the show. I thought that was quite a nice gesture.
Yeah.
Obviously, he looked after him so much in jail. He believed, yeah, that they were actually friends. He believed. He said in one of those videos that he was hoping to get thrown out to America and sit down and talk business. Brother, who are you? Who are you?
And to get one thing clear with this Chris Brown stuff, just so make it clear to people, I'm not after money. I don't want money. I don't want a penny. I've got my own money. I've got my own life, and I've got my own stuff going on. Just a bit of loyalty, like the stuff I went to. 4-month closed visits, nearly 5-month closed visits, seeing the kids behind glass. Fucking on basic for 8 months. Fucking, I thought I met some good, loyal people who were loyal. Like the
People in prison ain't loyal.
I'm ringing a message and just blanking me. Now I'm outside. Like they said, oh, we'll go for a meal. We'll go for go for the gym, have a bit of food. Like they could have like even let me come over to America to like come to some of the shows and or even spent a bit of time with me. They spent time with me when I was in jail, chatting to me every day while they're sorting things out. But now I'm out. Like they're not asked about me. Like they don't give a fuck. Like it's not about money. I'm not interested in money. It's about loyalty. If you don't know what loyalty means, then you won't understand.
So he was crying and bitching and moaning, and Chris Brown actually caught wind of this video, of these videos of him bitching, and he actually messages him. He says, "You a bitch, cop chasing ass white boy, nigga. You ain't protect shit in jail. I would have beat any nigga up on that block, including you."
Don't need to do that. Look how wonky that is. It is
I think
because
it's
someone's.
just the,
No, I don't think
I
it's
th-
that.
I think it's just the tail.
No,
No,
I'm pretty sure-
the
no,
tail.
no. Stop. Pretty sure it's this.
Want a handout and complaining on social media that some fucking female? Big man don't move like that, man. And I didn't give your ugly. And he said, "Big men don't move like that. And I didn't have to give your ugly meth head ass girlfriend tickets to my show." Darkness. So you doing all this internet shit ain't gonna make you famous. Fuck off somewhere before you run into some real issues fucking with me. Oi, oi. Listen, some of the words there were quite harsh. Yeah, some of the words were quite dark. You know, Chris Breezy, he's a bit loose with the tongue. Pause. You get me? He's a bit loosey-goosey. Anyway, this guy goes, "It's not about tickets, mate. You treated me like a fan and a knobhead. I'm not." A fan would have done more for a fan. Brother, the way this guy texts is terrible. A fan, I would have done more for someone who look after me in a jail. I drove 8 hours for you just to treat me like some dick. Tickets, wow, I wanted loyalty, not tickets. And then you got Chris Brown commenting
Yeah,
saying,
man.
"Listening to this wanker is hilarious. Bro chimping out. You sound like a little bitch." And then the guy's like, that what he got to say to someone who was there for him. Show these guys loyal guys. Show these guys loyal. Guys know respect. Brother, this guy needs to go back to school. We can see here more stories. When I was looking after Chris Brown in jail, that's it, looking after. When I was looking after Chris Brown in jail, his next door used to record me and Chris Brown. When I found out, I took the recording and smashed the phone up before sending them to myself. Blah, blah, blah. Chris Brown said, "Lying ass weirdo, you a bitch.
Hey, Nicholas.
You was a do boy, corny ass white boy." You mad because
Why not? Just showing you my
mad
progress.
because ain't nobody trying to give you a job.
Doesn't
And
matter.
he said, if someone was there for me in a foreign jail and looked after me and stopped people spitting in my food, made your time easy, I'd have made a lifelong friend. And he finally posts this picture, which is Chris Brown's writing. Chris Brown actually wrote him a note and said, Dane, appreciate you, my brother. Sorry I got you banged up, Brody. Love, my bro. And he says, later, no one seen. Sorry I got you bang up. What I got, no time, no effort, but yeah, nice one. But the way the guy spoke was a bit retarded still. So yeah, moral of the story.
No, there's no youngest
Don't
there.
show people loyalty if you're
So it's over
If
18s.
you're only showing people loyalty because you think it will get you somewhere in life, you a bitch. Yeah. Now I don't agree.
And at the end of the day, I'm only showing my body progress because of my fitness.
F that and blah, blah, blah,
I do fitness, so it doesn't matter.
But at the same
End of the
time,
day.
you're coming across like a bitch, bro. If you
It's not my responsibility for the parents to monitor what the children are on. This is an over 18 5.
You've got his contact details, say, brother,
Do you know what I mean?
I'm coming to your next show. Your next show's getting locked off.
And it is on over 18s.
Saying, I was loyal to Chris Brown.
Well, I don't know.
One day he was in jail, and then,
But it's definitely on over
he
18s.
said that, brother, you got tickets
100%.
to his show. What did you really want from him? Yeah, talking about going to a dinner, and you wanted a handout. That's the reality of the situation.
I think it's no one under 16, I don't know.
Did you show him some sort of positivity? Absolutely. Some sort of loyalty? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you can go there.
Bang on about it. It wasn't that loyal. No one asked you to be loyal. No one asked you to do these things. No one asked you to help Chris Brown at the detriment of seeing your own kids behind the glass and getting put on basic. No one asked you to do that. You did that because you thought it was going to be worth it.
So you get blocked, bro.
No one asked you to do that. But let's be fair, did you show some loyalty? Yeah, you did. Is Chris Brown obliged to show you the same level of loyalty? No. Would another celebrity have shown you more loyalty? Yes. It all depends on who you get. Chris Brown, while he's a great artist, he comes across like a dickhead. You know what I'm saying? Chris Brown's one of my favourite artists of all time. I don't care about nothing else. He's cold. But he comes across like a dickhead, bro, like personality-wise. Yeah, I just like the music. You feel me? So, yeah, no one asked you and your brethren to beg him in jail. Chris Brown's been fighting for a long time as well. I'm sure he would have handled himself with fine in jail. And no one's there. You wouldn't have been the only one looking after him, by the way, as well. Yeah, why you talk about, some people tried to spit in his food and didn't, bro, there would have been other people there. If you weren't going to give him phones and weed, a next brother would have given him phones and weed. Let this be a lesson to you, big man, Dane. Anyway, my people, let me know your thoughts. Of course, I'm trying to hear exactly what you believe in the comment section below. Blow that comment section up. Hit the comment section, nuke it. Yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay vigilant. Yeah! Peace.
This woman was just humbled by a judge after stealing someone's house because she claimed she had squatter's rights after booking a month-long Airbnb stay in Washington, D.C. And nearly a year later, the woman effectively took over the house, living there rent-free while the actual homeowner was suffering financially and was locked out of the property. And the wildest part is, the legal system was essentially powerless to remove her thanks to a loophole in a tenant protection law that kicks in just after 30 days. So it's safe to say we have quite the wild story. So, in February of 2025, a woman named Rashan Douglas, who owned a property in Northeast Washington, D.C., she was renting out her house on Airbnb. And she got a booking request from someone named Shadia Romero for 32 days, which seemed straightforward enough at the time. Shadia said that her apartment had caught fire and she needed temporary housing while the damage was being repaired. And for the first month, everything appeared to be running normally. Shadia was staying there, presumably paying for a stay through the platform, and Rashan probably figured this was just another routine booking. But when March 29th came around, that scheduled day end of the 32 reservation, things
How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's looking after their mental health. Everyone's doing well.
Instead, she informed Rashan that she was claiming residency and had tenant rights to the property. And yeah, because she'd been there for more than 30 days, the law in Washington, D.C. backed her up on that claim. So, just like that, Rashan went from being a short-term rental host to being stuck in a landlord-tenant situation that she never agreed to. That sounds insane to everyone who lives outside of, probably Washington, D.C. and California. I feel like California, Washington, D.C., maybe New York City has something like this. But to understand all of this, unfortunately, we have to talk about how D.C. handles tenant protection. But basically, in Washington, D.C., if someone pays money to stay in your property for 30 days or more, the courts will treat them as a tenant with full legal protections, regardless of whether you actually signed a lease with them or not. And that's just crazy to me, because it doesn't matter if they came from Airbnb or VRBO or any other short-term rental platform. It doesn't matter if you explicitly told them it was temporary. Once that 30-day mark hits and money has been exchanged, they're legally considered a tenant.
Would you say the laws in DC are favorable to squatters?
Well, they're favorable to tenants, and one person's squatter is another person's alleged squatter an actual tenant, and the court is going to make sure that it finds out the answer to that preliminary question of has that individual achieved tenancy status or not. And so you're starting with the conclusion that the person's a tenant, but that individual has a right to go to court and try to prove that she's actually a tenant and afforded all of the rights of tenants in the district. And therein lies the rub. It's not easy to get a court to find an answer to that question. It seems simple. In the eyes of the law, it can become very complicated, especially in the district.
And clearly, those protections are pretty serious. If someone has established tenancy, property owners can't change the locks, shut off the water, electricity, or heat, remove the person's belongings, or even block them from entering. So,
Crazy.
if you do any of those things, you're committing what's called an illegal eviction. And then you could actually face fines and criminal charges. So, essentially, it's a civil matter until the landlord steps in and tries to block them from entering, because then it's an illegal
Should have
eviction.
have the
So
smoke.
if the landlord do not turn this criminal, the only legal way to remove someone who claimed tenancy is to file an eviction case in court and then wait for a judge to order them out. And in DC, that process can take months, sometimes
Yeah,
6
just should have
months.
just
or
smoke.
longer. The person
If you want to
fights
ask
it,
anything, I'm more than
files
welcome.
motions to
Like
delay
and
it.
subscribe if you can.
Unfortunately,
Much
you
appreciated.
have people who are professional at abusing laws like this, essentially to steal people's homes. So once Shadia hit that 30-day mark and declared herself a tenant, Rashan's options basically evaporated. But she definitely tried to fight it. First, she served Shadia with a formal 30-day notice to vacate, which is the standard first move for any eviction process. Shadia then ignored it. Then Rashan called the police, thinking they might be able to help remove someone who was essentially occupying her property without permission. But the police told her the same thing every time she called. This was a civil dispute, not a criminal matter. And there was nothing they could essentially do, so they just directed her to handle it through the courts. And that's when Rashan filed for an eviction in the DC Superior Court. The problem was that this was happening in March, April, and May, while her court date wasn't scheduled until December 11th. Yeah, it was literally the other day. So by the time November rolled around, Rashan was pretty much desperate and financially drained. So she made Shadia an offer. She paid her $2,500 in cash if Shadia signed a document acknowledging that she wasn't actually a tenant and agreed to move out. Shadia then, I guess, accepted the deal and signed the paper. However, again, on November 15th, which was supposed to be her departure date, Shadia told Rashan that she changed her mind and didn't move out. So the same thing happened yet again. So according to Rashan, she said, "This no longer works for me. Do what you have to do. I'm not leaving." Which is a crazy thing to say when you're in someone else's property. But Rashan, she brought that signed document to the police, hoping that would change something. But they repeated the same thing. It's a civil matter. We need to wait for a court date. So fast forward to late November, and Rashan started getting calls from her neighbors. They told her they saw Shadia and other people staying at the house pack up their bags, load everything into a car, and drive away. At first, neighbors were pretty confident that it looked like Shadia was finally gone for good. So Rashan immediately contacted the Metropolitan Police Department, and they told her that she was free to secure the property however she wanted. Acting on that, she disabled all the locks so Shadia's keys wouldn't work anymore. Hired a contractor to board up the windows, and because there had been electrical problems, shut off the power to the house. From her perspective, this whole mess was finally over after 9 months of fighting. But then, not too long later, her neighbors called again, and they said, by the way, Shadia is back and she's breaking back into your house. Okay. I'm picturing this like Rashan is playing Call of Duty Zombies and she's like holding X to board up her door, and Shadia is on the outside just breaking apart the boards trying to get back into the house that she stole. Yeah, definitely not an ideal situation, but it's about to get worse, like basically everything else we covered. Because police arrived this time and something different happened. Because according to Rashan, the police allowed Shadia to hire a locksmith right there on the spot and get right back into the property. She finally had her property back, and Shadia pulled back up and she was like, "No, wait a minute, I live there." This is one crazy confidence game. She has no documents that prove that she lives there. But hey, the locksmith showed back up, and Shadia got back inside, and Rashan was essentially back to square one. But the next day, Child Protective Services showed up to the property, and that's interesting. But the reason was that Shadia had brought her young daughter into the house, but there was no electricity running because Roshan had shut it off when she thought the other woman had abandoned the property. So as a result, CPS got involved since a child was now living in a home without electricity. Also, side note, the fact that Shadia is doing this with a child makes things so much worse. But that same day, Roshan discovered that her work truck that she had parked behind the property had gone missing. So she then filed a police report, and according to her account, Shadia had attempted to have the vehicle towed by telling the tow company that she owned the house. Again, diabolical confidence game. She has nothing to prove that she owns this property or should even be there, but still, like, this is so sad and depressing, and like the financial strain for Roshan to upkeep this property while someone's literally
What are you going
inside
for?
of it is awful. Because most likely she has to pay
What are you up
mortgage
to?
on it. She definitely has to pay property
It's reindeer.
taxes, which are not cheap in Washington D.C. And I can only assume that she
I'm
would
about
have
to
pay all
chat
the
to you. What you
utilities
saying
as well.
anyway?
So it's safe to say you are incredibly unlucky.
It's reindeer. What are you up to?
Also, I'm like halfway through the video, and I'm
What are you doing?
honestly not sure how you pronounce Shadia. If I've been saying her name wrong the entire video, honestly, she deserves it, but my bad.
What do you gotta go for? You just go here.
Shadia. Shidija. Shidija? Shidija. Is that right? But it's an S-H-A. This is kind of like that one video I covered recently where it's like, I said Bexar County, but it's Bear County because the X is silent.
I want me
Honestly, my
some.
own name is also kind of like that. My name's Arling, but it's spelled with an E.
You want me some of what?
Arling in Norwegian, but like in English, Arling is closer to Arling than what Erling would be. So, Arling.
That's what I'm asking. Why you gotta leave so soon?
Nah, I'm just doubling down on Shadia. Shadia is just I don't know. This might be a Shadia. Who knows? So all of these events then triggered an emergency court hearing that took place.
Maybe you don't need to, because we're talking. So let's talk. Well, let's chat.
According to the testimony in court, Shadia had allegedly tried to physically push Roshan off a ladder at one point when Roshan was putting up a sign on the exterior of the house. The sign was apparently to advertise that someone was living there against the homeowner's will. Apparently, Shadia and the people that was living in there with her, they hung a sheet
Yeah, that's
over
what
that
it's
sign to like cover that up. And there was also
So now you can stay,
Shadia
G.
had transferred the utility accounts out
That's
of
why you didn't want
Roshan's
to stay,
name
because of
and
him.
put it in her daughter's name instead. But the judge ruling at the end
Well,
of
what's the
hearing,
point? I can't see you.
Roshan
We're trying to talk
turned
here.
the electricity back on immediately, despite everything that had happened.
I'm trying to chat with you.
Meanwhile, the actual decision about who was allowed to stay in the house
It's a bit rude.
got pushed for the following week. So now, up until this point, everything that's been said reflects Roshan's side of the story. But when reporters finally interviewed Shadia, she had a whole different story.
Do you not want to chat
So,
then?
in her story of the events, Shadia claimed that
That's
she
the whole
and
point.
Roshan had verbally
And you
agreed to
chatting.
extend the arrangement
Saying
for
fire and all that
a
shit.
32-day stay. And what began as an Airbnb booking had effectively turned into a month-to-month rental. And she claims that she continued making regular monthly payments to Roshan for several months after the original booking ended. Although she acknowledged that some of those payments ran into issues and didn't always go through.
So you don't need to say sorry, brother, do you?
She ultimately stopped paying after losing $17,000, which was apparently a result of a series of financial emergencies.
Well, you are, because you're chatting all of this.
Something like that.
So you are, because before you were saying fire and all of this. You didn't have a problem. I got rid of that other guy for you, so don't worry. Yeah, because you're being a dickhead, Harvey. Because you're saying you're underage. Why do you think I fucking blocked you in the first place? Use your fucking head, bro. Well, it doesn't fucking, it don't make it fucking easy with a fucking name like that. Because it's a boy's name and a girl's name.
And as the media continued digging into that story, additional context emerged that made the situation even more complicated, to put it lightly. Because remember how Shadia originally told Roshan that she needed rental because her apartment
What do you think I blocked
was
you?
damaged by fire? Well, that was a lie. Because court records showed that story was not true. And according to documents obtained by
Well, it
the
must be
media,
fucking-
Shadia was already being evicted from the previous residence.
Like it
where
is,
she booked
over 18,
Roshan's
so-
property.
Well, you're gone then.
Because I saw the reservation mentioned was for a fire. Around that same time, court
Both
records
gone.
show at your previous apartment, you were also getting evicted for not paying rent. And
So that was for that place, it was for a previous place, but something happened during COVID and everyone was not receiving payment. I'm an entrepreneur and I also have a nonprofit, so that's what that was for. The fire that I actually had a fire. There's a police report, a fire report for it. Police came out, the fire
Ethan,
department came out.
she's just gonna get
That's
pissed,
just the issue in the walls that then
Is it
create,
the same apartment building?
for
Yeah, but it's not enough.
That permit
You think that's enough sustenance for a whole bottle of cider? No, of course not. Use your head.
Ava Noma's where I have the fire.
Even though my drawing showing that you're in the process of being evicted for paying 1 month's rent when you're there for 13.
So that would not be accurate.
So the court records are not accurate.
I did not go to court for eviction for Ava Noma.
So she went from one landlord squatting in her house, allegedly, to a new one, and then just rinse and repeated. There was no fire. She never had her own property. She is just, allegedly, professionally abusing the laws and stealing homes. Because the records indicated that she owed close to $50,000 in unpaid rent from the previous address, having paid only 1 month's worth of rent over an entire year of living there, which is just insane. That probably doesn't even cover the annual property taxes. Meanwhile, throughout this entire ordeal, Shadia's social media showed her traveling to Jamaica, going to various events, and actively promoting her non-profit organization. And what is that? Well, for context, she runs a clothing brand called Love with Deja, which has the slogan of encouraging people to do things with love. And allegedly, she donates
broken
part of
back.
the proceeds to charity. So I guess as long as you steal people's homes with love, it's aligned with her brand. But either way, finally, on December 11th, almost 10 months after this whole thing started, Roshan got her day in court. And during the hearing, things got pretty interesting because Shadia was placed under oath and warned about what happens if you lie under oath. Basically, you can be charged with perjury, which is a felony in most states, and definitely in Washington, D.C., which is kind of important because of what comes next. Because remember how Shadia had told reporters that she'd never been evicted before? Well, that wasn't true, because she was confronted with her past eviction records in court, and her story suddenly changed. She said that she didn't recall whether she'd been evicted or not. And then she argued that the whole thing wasn't even relevant to the case. Man, that's absolutely relevant to the case. It shows you've done this tomfoolery before. Also, what a pathetic way to deflect. Either way, the homeowner also took to the stand during the hearing after listening to both sides. The judge made a pretty clear rule. Shadia Romero did not have the tenancy rights to the property. And the judge specifically pointed to that agreement that Roshan had gotten her to sign back in November. You know, the one where Shadia acknowledged that she wasn't a tenant and agreed to leave in exchange for $2,500. The court also found that document was still valid and binding, and because Shadia had no legal tenant status, the judge authorized Roshan to have her removed from the property immediately, that very same day. So finally, after like
That
10
backfired,
months,
huh?
a massive W.
That backfired on her.
Just imagine a year of legal proceedings, mortgage payments, utility bills, and a heavy load of stress, not knowing when you'll finally get your property back. That's a nightmare. But thankfully, the woman was officially evicted from the house, and the reporters explained the whole thing here.
My friend, this is actually one of the first times a homeowners have been back to the home in a couple of months. And as you mentioned, the judge ordered that the alleged squatter is not a tenant, therefore she has no tenant rights, and the homeowners were allowed to get her out of the home and evict her immediately. And that is what you are seeing. We have community members that actually came here to support the homeowners and help clear out the home after watching the reports and hear what the homeowners were dealing with. And even inside the home, you can see some of the area that they have started clearing as well. The homeowner mentioned to me that she has been in shock and everything that was with everything that was inside of this home, as well as from the damage that she found as well.
And with that, she could also remove the infamous sheet that was hanging outside of her house. The one Shadia had hung to block Roshan's message to the neighbor. That was also removed. And for the first time in months, Roshan was finally able to walk back into her own property without dealing with locked doors or authorities telling her she couldn't enter her own property. It's just so insane. So now, after all this played out on the media,
Do you want anything from the kitchen?
the company confirmed they've been tracking the story through news reports, and they made it pretty clear where they stood throughout the whole situation. According to the spokesperson, all the protections Airbnb offers, which is their air
It's not sparkling, it's still.
support, all of that only applies when everything stays on their platform. Hosts and guests should always communicate and book and pay on
Water
Airbnb,
bought in
so they're
Sainsbury's.
covered by our policies and
Yeah, it's still.
protections.
Them in the line.
Warnings across the site to stay
In
on
the freezer.
Airbnb,
No, it's
provide
bathroom.
information on why this
Oh,
is important.
where's
It
that?
helps ensure that both parties are protected by our policies, terms of service, and safeguards like air quality for hosts. These protections are forfeited if users book and pay outside of Airbnb.
Everyone's doing alright. Everyone's well. Everyone's good. That's over way too bright. Why is that over the bright? I was going to see. Workout's been going good as usual. Look. Again, it's me like relaxing. Not bad. Moving my arms. So. Built differently. Gym's here. Must be one. What you want? These wine gums. Put that there. Couple days a week. I go 6 days a week. This is my homemade ice cream. It's fucking amazing. This is strawberry shortcake homemade ice cream I made. I can't wait to try it. And now I'll show you. Excuse my hair, it's a mess. What's that? The triceps are built differently. Look. The lighting plays a massive role as well, though. I could go like that. You'll see it darken. I can show you from my back. My back is built differently, mate. But I've done a lot of stuff with the I've done a lot of stuff with the army. I did a lot of stuff with the fire service as well when I was younger. My back is built differently, look. That's what you call fucking. So I'll show you one more time. Like I said, man, lighting plays a massive role. Like I said, I'll show you again. My shoulders are nuts. Let's get melt. Where's my glass? Spoon.